Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 2 of FamFridays. I'm Anna, and this is our co-host, Daniel, and we are so excited for this episode and this season. We're going to start out this episode talking about the Career Center and how you can utilize it as a student this year, and also how family members can engage with their students to help them. And to start the conversation off, Daniel and I are going to talk about our experience with our jobs on campus and adaptations that we've had to make with our jobs working virtually and hybrid, and then also the challenges that we faced.
Yes, I would say that some of the biggest changes that I've had to make in terms of going to a totally virtual environment was keeping track of like deadlines. I think it was easier to work in an in-person space. I think one of the biggest challenges with going to a totally virtual environment for me has been remembering to keep up with deadlines, because when we were normally in person all the time, it was easier to keep track of them because you see these people every day and work is just on your mind when you were physically there. But when you're in your own virtual environment, it's easy to kind of get lost and sidetracked. So definitely keeping up with deadlines has been a challenge for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You know about me, and I'm very type A. I love to create lists and have a planner and everything. And definitely when we went to a virtual environment, it was harder to keep track of everything. And it's just more difficult when you don't see the people you work with every day to have that connection with them and keep each other on track. And then also a big adaptation was learning like Zoom. Zoom is kind of difficult, and that's how we do a lot of our work in our meetings, especially like check-ins with supervisors, and also these meetings where we're creating content to supply to family members as well as students. So it's a big adaptation and something that we're still learning, but I'm thankful to have these skills on my resume now.
And today we're joined with a very special guest from the Career Center, Patrick Madsen, and he's going to discuss with us all about the Career Center and how to utilize their resources.
Hey guys, I'm Patrick Madsen. I'm the director of the University Career Center here at UNC Charlotte. I'm excited to be with the two of you, hear what kind of questions you might have for me, and talk a little bit about what our office does for students, alumni, and everybody under the sun.
We are really excited to have you, and I'm really excited for this. I know a lot of students are wondering what's going on campus and what's possibly different, what's going on, how are different resources going to change the way that they provide for students, alumni, and like you said, everyone under the sun.
Everybody under the sun, yeah.
Yeah. So to kick off this episode, we just want to ask you, will the Career Center offerings look different this year, and how so?
Well, it depends on what you mean by different, because we're now a hybrid office. And so what that means is that we have stuff that's happening in person, even today, and stuff that will be, of course, happening through Zoom and WebEx and Google Hangouts and Teams and all kinds of other virtual things that are going on there. So we are hybrid now. We are hybrid even after October 1. And the reason we've decided to be hybrid is that we realize not every single student has perfect internet. We realize not every single student has excellent laptops and technology. And sometimes you might not even have a quiet place to really concentrate on your career. So you can still come into our office for appointments. Our drop-in service will be both in-person, virtual, and of course through email. And so we're really expanding our services to meet you all with whatever it is that you need. Aside from that, we still have career fairs, and we have a huge one coming up at the beginning of October. Near 200 employers so far have already signed up to meet with you all. We have networking events. So we're used to those networking events where you go into a giant ballroom and you talk to people. Well, we have a technology that will simulate that online. So that means you can still have the opportunity to network with employers, your fellow students, our staff, and of course, alumni, and really get to know different career paths and whatnot. So I'm very excited about what the team has put together, and we are still here, and we will be here free for life even after graduation.
So the Career Center is a great resource for students here on campus, and we're glad that the Career Center is still here to, even during COVID and during times like these. So in relation to the Career Center, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give to college students or a graduate during this time in terms of finding a career?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to start off by saying I'm really old, which means I've experienced other recessions and other time when it's been hard to find a job. And so what I have learned over those years is a couple things. One, students need to engage. They need to engage in the process. You can't just sit at home and not have a resume, not try to find an internship, or not try to join student clubs and organizations, or do a lot of these things that are normal in the college experience. You need to engage. And that engagement is what employers are going to be looking for. That's how you're going to be able to network with alumni and employers to really dig out those opportunities that still exist. The biggest difference that I've seen so far between this recession and thing that we're dealing with, and we'll just call it a thing, how about that, and the Great Recession of 2008, 2009, and whatever time frame you want, is that now there are still jobs out there. Now, some industries are having a little bit more trouble than others, but the Great Recession, it was like almost everything came to a dead stop. So there's opportunity, just means that you have to push yourself out there more, talk to more people, get the information that you need. And also remember that it might be okay to expand your target. You may not get that dream job day one, but your job is to work towards that dream job. This right here is my dream job, and it took me 10, 15 years to get here. It just is a process. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Do not wait until the last minute. Please, 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 please. You can do that. We'll still help you, but man, you just made it more difficult on yourself to get to where you're trying to go.
Yeah, and I appreciate how you touched on engagement. I think during a time, especially like this, a lot of people might want to just like fall back and take it easy, but like it just means engagement looks a little bit different this year. And so I'm glad the Career Center is here to kind of guide through those times.
And sometimes poke you guys to keep moving forward.
Right, right.
Sometimes you need that. We all need that little, kick in the back to keep you moving. But you're exactly right. This time is a weird time. We're all kind of sitting at home, and we have to log in, and we don't get to see people's nonverbals a lot of times. And so I think that, yes, you're right. You got to be more proactive. You got to want it that much more so that you can move forward with your career success. I say it like this in all the SOAR orientations, and I didn't get to do it this summer as with every single incoming student. But think about this: higher education is an investment. You are investing not just money, but your time, your future, and a lot of other things. And so, why wouldn't you use all the services on this campus? Why wouldn't you take everything that you can from this experience so that you can pop it forward in your career? That's what investment management is all about. And so, return on investment is what you put into it, the engagement you decide to do. You're going to see some really cool things happen after.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that my family was actually telling me about, they were like, look, your bill for this semester is still the same as it was last fall. So yes, you're doing things online and hybrid, and you are able to go to campus, but it looks a little different, but you still need to take advantage of every opportunity. So I 100% agree with that. And it has definitely been said to me by my family that I need to be taking advantage of that. And along with that, from your perspective, how can families be helping students in their job and internship search process?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So when I started here 5 years ago, one of my big goals, and I've gotten through a lot of my goals, so I have to keep creating more goals, but one of the bigger goals is to make this university a giant community, a networked community where we have alumni out there talking with students. We have students who are seniors and juniors and graduate students talking with freshmen. We have parents and families and cousins and friends of UNC Charlotte coming back and being presenters, helping students network with them, connecting us to their company, developing micro internships or projects for our students to get that resume capital or the experience that they can market to employers. So when you say, what could families and parents do? Connect with our office. Think it through. You all might have jobs. You all might have a bandwidth to create a 1 week internship for a student, or just talk to freshmen about what your industry is about. And so if we can pull all this together, this university is going to be even more phenomenal than what it already is. And think about it. We have about 30,000 current students, right? And maybe about 100,000+ alumni. Now multiply that by all their family members. We're probably looking in the millions. I'm just going to guess millions of people that could be connecting each other to opportunity and a career education. So that's just what I'm thinking. I mean, it's just a small little thing, right?
And moving on to our brand new segment where we ask each representative that we interview a question that pertains to our family members. So our first question is, what advice do you have for family members of undergraduate students?
Yeah, so parents and families of undergraduate students. I think the biggest thing is it's not about hurry up and find a career and a job. It's about purposeful work. And I'll say it like this. I talk a lot of times with those who are getting ready to retire. And without a doubt, the most thing that they usually say to me is, now that I can retire, I can finally do what I've always wanted to do with my career and my life. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, why can't we allow students and help them figure out what that thing is so they can be doing it their entire life instead of waiting until they're retired? So a lot of times when we think like, oh, just get a job in X because you'll be safe, it may not be the best thing. And purposeful work is about finding what brings you energy, what brings you excitement. And oh, by the way, you're going to get paid for it too. And again, that's what I'm doing right now. If I didn't have to pay bills, I would be still right here doing this for free for the university because this is what I'm all about. Why can't every single person have that feeling and be able to pay their bills as well? So that, I mean, that's my advice, I think, for everybody, including you all students. Find what brings you excitement, not passion, but excitement.
Yeah, absolutely. We can tell this is something that you love to do.
Yeah, and I only had one cup of coffee this morning, and so it's real. It's internal.
I love that.
No, and he's consistent too, because I remember when I was an orientation counselor last year, I'd watch your presentation, and they're always like so full of energy. Like I love it.
If you're gonna do anything, bring the energy, right? Even
right.
if it's a boring presentation like resume writing, let's make it exciting because man, that's you on paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. To tie in the Charlotte community, we also want to ask, what is one place that you would recommend families to visit in Charlotte?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I'm going to be a little different than probably your other guest presenters and speakers. I'm going to say not really a location where like, hey, go look at this tree. I'm going to say, you know what? There's a Charlotte Mecklenburg Animal Services. I volunteer there every single week, helping dogs get socialized so that they can be adopted by great families in the area and across the state and nation. I would say go there. Look, if you're looking for an animal, if you're looking for a new fur baby, I guess is what they call it, jump over to Animal Services, check them out, check out all the rescues that are in this local area and be a part of the solution for that as well. So hopefully I was allowed to say something like that versus go look at that tree over there. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate the perspective, and I think families will also really appreciate that. I know a lot of my friends have been getting animals during quarantine because they have more time to train them and be with them.
Thank you for watching our second episode. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram page at UNCC NSFS, as well as our Facebook page. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content and keep out for the next episode of Fam Fridays. Go Niners!